Good morning and aloha. Welcome to Just Talking 24, page 71. This morning's word, I can't get over it. How this thing has evolved into just one word. It's gonna stop. I don't know when, but it's gonna stop like that. But this morning's word, it seems really easy when I first thought about it, and it turned into something so complex, goes so many ways. But isn't that, you always start one thing and then from there just poof. And that word today is faith, not fate. Faith, Faith. Fate is the end of something, a conclusion. That's your fate, that's what you get, whatever, good or bad. But faith is something else that's totally different. It's a force, it's a way of thinking, it's a spiritual thing. It can be in physical things. It's just your belief, what you think is going, what you think is happening, or what you think will happen, or what you think might happen. And the faith is your reinforcement. And and this is all brought up on every day because people, even MAGA. I listen, like I told you guys, I listen to the talk radio, right? And even President Trump's MAGA supporters are starting to wane with it. When's it gonna be done? When's it? And they're the ones that, when this thing first said, the Iranian war first came out, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and it's not happening fast enough. And I told you guys last week, that's what Donald Trump is trying to do it. He's trying to give him all the breaks he can. Okay? He's not a dictator. He's not a king. He's a businessman. And a lot of times in business, you kind of do a compromise, but you do your compromise so that you get the most positive things out. And number one was Iran could not get nuclear weapons because he has a faith. He believes, and I believe too, these suckers will use it. And they've shown already the propensity to do it. Look at Texas. They're in Texas. They want to build their own city with their own, like all of a sudden they become Indians, self-govern and self-this, and they want to do it. And Texas is telling them, no way. But you see how they are? And when I say they, I mean, I'm talking the Muslims, the Muslim faith. It's their way or the highway kind of thing. That's why I really don't care about religion. I got faith in religion. Religion made by man to control all man. Yeah, that's my faith. So my faith is in God. Okay. And, he's there. I know he's there. He is. But, and that's my faith. And once you got that, you don't need nothing else, really. You just go along with it. Oh, and treat everybody, like I told you, the golden rule, right? But these people are, they're saying, how come he hasn't done this? How come he hasn't done, why doesn't he just blow the Iranians off the face of the earth? I mean, that would be an easy way, right? But then what would happen? What, how will other countries look at us? Yeah, they fear us, but the thing is, when you fear them, you would rather have respect than fear. Because when you have respect and you screw up, people will give you sometimes a benefit of the doubt. But if you're feared and you screw up, they will jump all over you like a bunch of cannibals. Yeah, like a bunch of condors or whatever you want, things that eat dead things. Yeah. Or they'll jump all over your weakness. So you know how hard it is to keep a knife sharp. Well, imagine that same principle on a country. You cannot have any flaws. Look at Trump. Trump, every little flaw he shows. Man, the Democratic Party is after his ass. And I'm not saying that Trump is perfect. I told you, the guy cannot walk on water. But that's the type of reaction you get to his type of opposition. He is proactive. And it's something that the other governing party is not used to be because they've never had to be proactive. You know what I mean? If you cannot, if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, you gotta baffle them with bullshit. And we've been swimming in the, you know what? And Trump is showing something different, and he's showing a new way of fighting a war, if you want to call it that. You go inside there, you establish, okay, with the power, we can wipe you out. Now we're giving you a chance. And what do they do? What do the Iranians do? Come with these ridiculous, and they know it's ridiculous, you know, requests for in their peace talks. Oh, we want this, we want this, we want this, we want this. I don't know if they're that stupid or, or what. But like I said, I got faith in Trump. Okay. And he's going to get it done, and he's going to give them as much rope as he can. But even he has a limit. And I got a feeling that when he hits this limit, watch out. And they're going to be screaming. They're hoping that the world will back them up, and the world won't back them up, because look at what the Islamics are doing in other countries in Europe and England, France, Spain. All of them are having a lot of problems with the Islamists, because the Islamists move in there and they say, no, you gotta live our way. Like they come to America, we have to pray 5 times a day so you get these loudspeakers going on. No. You don't move into something and take it over. And that's what they're trying to do. And what's going to happen is you're going to be shoved out. That's what's going to, people are going to reach their end and say, get rid of them. And that's the Constitution of the United States may say, that there's freedom of religion. The thing is, we also have the freedom to tell your religion, get the hell out of here. And I'm not saying all Muslims are bad. There are a lot of good ones. The thing is, they just follow, because that's their faith. Again, faith can be used 2 ways, folks. It's a balance like everything else. That's what faith is. It's another balancing act. It can be used for good. It can be used for bad. Criminologists, they know that man is an animal, and that man is a creature of habit. And so a criminal has what they call an MO, modus operandi, and that's just his habits of doing things. Sometimes their habit is doing things that aren't normal. But there's always something in there, because see, man is an animal. Animal is a creature of habit. Okay, that much. It's another thing. I got the faith in that, and it's true. I've seen it over and you've seen it too, over and over again. People will do the same thing. That's why I say to you that America's on its way down, because the historians have shown throughout history that a country lasts about 250 to 300 years as the numero uno, and then it breaks down. And that's because man is a creature of habit. And every society that has dropped, the people have said the same thing. The leaders have said the same thing. It's not going to happen to us. It's not going to happen to us. Unfortunately, folks, I have faith in the historians. I have faith in history. I have faith in man. Those are all my beliefs. And yeah, man is an animal. And he's pretty predictable. And that's why I say, President Trump's going to take it so far, and then he's going to kick their ass. Like everything has a limit. Nothing is limitless. Nothing mortal. by man is limitless. It never is, never was, never will be. Okay? And yet man wants to control everything. Well, he's got to know that there are limits and he doesn't know limits. Another thing that's happening right now is our high costs. We're number one again. Yeah, Hawaii for cost of living. Well, the cost of home ownership, real estate. And they're saying, okay, get this: if we build more houses, the price will come down. And I'm over there thinking, okay, um, the price of material doesn't come down. The price of labor isn't going to come down. The price of land is not going to come down. How can building more houses bring prices down? You know, and what they're going to point down to on a $1.5 million house, oh, it dropped $10,000. You know, is that really coming down? No, it's just an excuse to make more. I mean, to build more. And a good example, really good example, is our fixed rail system. Okay, we have a fixed rail system called Skyline. It's a monorail system. And they have been trying since the 60s to bring this sucker in. And, one thing you need when you're going to build something like that, you need land, you need space. And Hawaii is so, and where the path is, they're not going over the mountains where it's all open and, nobody owns it and nobody cares, right? They're going right through the most heavily populated area of Oahu, and that's from the central west side, called Kapolei, to the east side, which is it's supposed to go to the University of Manoa. That was the sales. The sales was we have a University of Hawaii West Oahu campus, and we have a University of Hawaii at Manoa, which is in the east. And this fixed rail was supposed to help the kids to go, to and from, they could have classes on both sides, and also it was going to relieve the traffic, because if you've ever come in during rush hour, you'll never come in again. Well, like any large city, what rush hour is. Well, this fixed rail was supposed to relieve it. And I went to one of the first meetings when they were talking about it. And they had the whole thing spewed out, 17 stops, 17 stations, and each station would have a capacity of 10,000, could handle 10,000 people. And I looked at their plans and I said, excuse me, where these 10,000 people gonna park? You don't have parking lots for them. Oh, no, 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 no. We're going to have shuttle buses that are going to shuttle the people in. I said, you do know that at the height of usage is going to be during rush hour, right? Or the hours before that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we know. Between what they said, 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. I said, okay, when do kids go to school? You can't even handle taking the kids to school right now. How are you going to triple your amount of ridership? We don't have that many buses. We don't have enough drivers for the buses now. How are you going to do that? Oh, we'll worry about it when we come to it. Well, part of it's built already. Okay, it goes to the airport. And I think it has six stations or 7 stations, something like that. In the 6 and 7 stations, there's not one bathroom. How can you plan commuter ridership and not have any restrooms? I mean, the ridership is really down. I mean, I don't know the numbers. I don't have the numbers. The last I heard, well, they had a free one. They had a free weekend or something when they just opened it. And the people, didn't curious, right? They go down there, and even they were telling it was hard to find parking and stuff like that. But the ridership, we got 15,000 people riding. Well, of course it was free, because this sucker is expensive. It's like $9. Yeah, 450 each way, or some ridiculous. You buy a holo pass. It is expensive, and that doesn't even come close to the maintenance. Okay, so you got the price of, and oh, and one more thing. When they first brought up this project, they said the project would take about 3 years and would cost $4.3 billion. Well, it's been what, 8 years, and the cost is over 13 billion or something like that already, and we're not even halfway there. Don't worry, I got faith in the government. That's the kind of faith I got. Everything the government does, they don't plan through, and that's one thing I can tell about our government, our state government anyway. Yeah, it's you follow the money. That's what you do. That's the faith I got. You follow the money. You see how dirty it is. We have our stadium. They're tearing it down right now. Back in the 70s, yeah, 70s, because I remember when I graduated, we were one of the first classes. We actually got to walk on the field, feel the field. This was AstroTurf, yeah? Yeah. Plastic covered concrete. Oh, man, that sucker is hard. But anyway, this stadium was the state of the art. It was a 50,000 seat stadium. It could move different configurations, football, baseball, because at the time we had the Hawaii Islanders, which was, I think, they were a professional team, but they weren't Division One. They were like Class AAA ball or something like that. I don't follow baseball, so I don't know. But we had the Hawaii Islanders. So when it was baseball time, they moved the seats. The stands could move into a configuration for a baseball park. And when you have football, the stands come in, and then you have the oval for the football. And that was, I mean, that was earth shaking. Okay, 50,000 seats. I think the most we ever had in there was 40,000. And that was when the UH football team was really, I mean, it was just awesome. And the parking for that stadium goes right around the stadium, huge parking lot. And the maximum amount of cars that parking lot could handle was 8,500. So 8,500, and it's huge. It's acres, right? And yet they said 10,000 riders gonna come to the skyline, and they have nothing close to that size of a parking lot. But anyway, I go back to the stadium. So when they built it, it's all steel. These beautiful, I mean, these huge steel girders, and they painted it brown. And the reason why is because that's what color paint they put on it. Now this is the spiel that they gave us. This color paint is going to look like rust, but it's really a protectant, and it won't rust. It won't allow the girders to rust through. Okay, 50 years later, we're tearing it down. Why? Because it rusted all the way through. I mean, there are parts of it just falling off, and you talking inch and a half, 2 inch girder, thick steel, and just falling off, because it's right on the ocean side. And I guess the paint didn't do what they said it did, right? Yeah. Again, you gotta have faith in our city, or in our state. So anyway, they're gonna tear down this 50,000 seat stadium, beautiful stadium, what it used to be, and they're gonna replace it with a new one. The new one's gonna have, I think, 30,000 seats max, which is 40% less of what it has now. But okay, here's the kicker. With that stadium is gonna have complex of condominiums, shopping, hotels. Yeah, it's gonna be like a resort, stadium resort. Okay, I guess on the same property, because they're not buying anything else, and it's not going to be state anymore. It's a private, public, private kind of operation. Yeah, You see how our state gets? I mean, they just don't have money. We don't have money. And we don't have any new ways of getting money. There is a new way of getting money, and that would be legalized gambling. But the powers that be says no, whatever the powers that be are. And if we had, I mean, if you look at the way the hotels are made in Waikiki, and we have one on the North Shore called Kuilina, no, Kuilima, sorry, Kuilima. And if you look, in fact, the Kuilima was built by Del Webb. If you don't know who Del Webb is, he is a major developer in Las Vegas. If you look at the way the hotels are made, they were made for casino gambling. The ballrooms or the yeah, I guess you call them ballrooms or eating rooms or whatever, conference rooms, totally sectional. You have sections that slide in and out. You can make it for a room of 400 or a room of 100. You have these huge sectionals. The Sheraton Waikiki is made like that. The I believe the Regency, the Hyatt Regency, was made like that. They're all made with gambling in their mind. Yet gambling never came. Um, I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to change because people are not going to Vegas anymore. Vegas just outpriced themselves really bad. I've got friends that they still go to Vegas. I haven't been there in years, but they still go to Vegas and they go, brother, $100 bill is like a dollar bill up there. To park for the Ferris wheel, that big huge Ferris wheel they got, said 4 hour parking, $100. I go, what? He goes, yeah. He said, it's nothing up there. You get service charge, you get tipping here, tipping there. They blow you away with the prices. It was cheaper to go to Vegas for a foreign, it used to be 3 night, 4 day. Then it went 4 night, 5 day stay. And it was cheaper to go to Vegas than it was to go to the neighbor islands. Really. And at least with Vegas, you get a chance to get your money back. You have a chance. Outer Island, that's just Outer Island. Now, I would say it's cheaper to go to the Outer Islands because they said Vegas, you don't win. At least when we used to go over there, we used to have fun. We used to drink, and by that time I used to drink, smoke, eat, all you want. There are no buffets anymore. And we had a chance to win our money back. But at least if we lost money, and one of the dealers told me that. He said, you Hawaii people are so strange. I go, why? He says, because you guys come up here, you guys spend your money, you guys lose your butts at the table, and you guys are laughing and everything. I said, well, we're up here to have fun. I said, the money that we bring up is really Vegas money. We intend to lose the money. But we're going to have fun doing it, and you guys know it, and that's why you guys do what you do. But nowadays, it's different. Nowadays, they want the last. It used to be very subconscious. They want your last quarter. Now they come on, if they could reach in your pocket, they reach in and grab it. I got the faith in that. Steve Wynn, when back in the 90s, I believe, when Wynn first came in, he said that every department of my operation will make money. And when I read that, that's when I said, there goes Vegas. And my friends were saying, what? I said, yeah, he wants every department to make money. Some places are makers, some places are losers. Your buffets, they don't even break even, but they bring the people in. I said, look, where is the buffet? You gotta walk all the way through the casino to get to the buffet. And you gotta walk all the way back from the casino. You can drop money on the way. Right? How many times, right? After dinner, the women walk, play some machine over here, play some machine over there. We go jump on the crap tables. He goes, yeah. I said, it's planned that way. They know they're not gonna make money on the buffet. They're gonna lose money, but they're gonna make the money on your coming and going. Mostly going. You fool, You really don't want to walk that far. You like sit down, rest. Okay, we'll go play a little while. And that's how they made their money. Steve Wynn comes in and says, "No, we're going to set it up the same way, but every department's going to make a show a profit. Every department. Once you do that, you brought your subconscious money grubbing hands into the open. And once it'll take some, and it took time, but people are finding out Vegas is dying. It's it's a ghost town. My friends are saying, "Hey, but you know how it used to be before? How crowded the strip was." And yeah, not anymore. You can just cruise the strip if you want. I said, "But what's to see?" They go, "Yeah, it's true, nothing." Because there's really, there's no Treasure Island, there's no Mirage. He said, still got the fountains at Bellagio, but he said, there's nothing there. It's lost its magic. It's lost its shine. I said, what about that sphere? They said, it's a ball. See, so man is a creature of habit. He gets greedy and he screws it all up, and then he's going to suck everything he can out of it. And I got faith in man. So that's why I said, I got faith in President Trump. He knows what he's doing. Let him do it. Let him go for it. I got faith in God. I've always got, that it doesn't even have to be said. My faith in God is in God. It's not in a religion. That's why people ask me what religion I am. I tell them none. And they go, oh, you're an atheist. You don't believe in God. I said, no, that's not what I said. I said, I don't believe in religion. Because I got faith in religion. I got faith in man. Anything man does, he dirties, pretty much. Within exceptions. There are exceptions. But the majority of, big business and everything, high gas costs, told you about, that. And then, by the way, in the next 2 weeks, I think I'll be talking about conspiracies. Yeah. The first conspiracy I'm going to be talking about is going to be Pearl Harbor. And the second conspiracy is going to be 9/11. And what is a conspiracy? It's a planning by two or more people for a crime. And well, wait till next week. Let me explain what I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, that's fine. You gotta have faith. You gotta keep the faith. And I have faith in the human race that it's gonna survive America, and another one will come in and take its place. I have faith. It keeps me going. Like I got faith in the shed that I'm building is actually going to look like something. Now that's a lot of faith, folks. That's believing in fairy tales. It's coming. It's kind of not square. But I'm doing it as a hobby. It's going to work out. It's going to be a storage shed, and I guess I have a spot in it that I can sit down overnight if I get kicked out of the house by my wife. So that's good. But anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And keep the faith, yeah. Keep the faith. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and give Trump a chance. Give him a chance. Just sit back and watch what he does. Okay? Really. We got so much, we're supposed to have so many checks and balances in our system. And there's no way that, His Majesty King Trump, that cracks me up. But anyway, there's no way that one man can bring down the country, really. This country just too big. 338 million. Well, with Biden's was 340 something million. Not all legals, but let's not go there. Yes. Would you have a good one? Ahui ho. Maalama pono. And always, from me to you, aloha. Love you guys. Take care. Malama each other. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.